when you fought Sean, how much would you have to cut the night before?
I think we had 9.
9.
And for a guy who's already depleted, it's not like I had a lot to lose. So to do that drastic weight cut in such a short amount of time, I knew I was like fighting an uphill battle. I'm like, you know, I told my manager no probably like 5 different times. But eventually, somehow, I was eventually convinced to take it. And
the thing is I'll help you speak to this. You know, the UFC, they do what they want to do, right? Like when they were trying to force me to fight TJ Dillashaw, I was like, pay me $1 million. So they're like, we're going to close the division. They're like, they close the mother division, Sean. Next thing you know, like, we're not closing the division, right? So they always have their sneaky ways to, you know, put champions, I guess you can say, in a position to take a fight. When they, honestly, you didn't have to take that fight because you just fought Henry Cejudo. And then what was the turnaround for you to fight Sean?
like 3.5 months.
3.5 months. That's like in today's age in mixed martial arts, that's
5-round fight.
Yeah, 5-round fight. It's unheard of. Nobody. When's the last time? Let's look at somebody. I'll say the most active champion today's date is probably Izzy, but he's not the champion anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Izzy was banging him out. After that, who would we say?
Now it's probably Alex Pereira.
Yep.
But after that, there was really no one else turning around that quickly. And it wasn't the turnaround. It was a turnaround. It was more so the injuries that I had after the fight and from before the fight, because that's when I went to Colombia to get the stem cells from BioAccelerator. And that helped out, but I didn't even give that enough time to do his job because I was trying to rush to get back to fight Henry so that they didn't make an interim. So they said the longest we could do for the Henry fight was May. And I said, okay. So I went. They were able to squeeze me in because there was a long wait list, but they managed to get me in. I had to call Heather from the PI. They pulled some strings, some other people, and they were able to navigate and get me in there. It was like, can you come next week? And I was like, thank God. So I got that done. That helped out a little bit. And now it feels almost as good as new, I would say. No complaints about it anymore. Before, where I was having those sharp pains wrestling, I was like, dude, I'm going to tear this either in training or the fight. And I would like to at least get paid for it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Like, let me just, pray to God. Like, let me just get to the fight. And then after that, like, my shins was so beat up from that fight because Henry's fast.
Yeah, he is.
Even off the couch, people were like, oh, you beat a washed up, watered down Henry. I'm like, dude, you should get in there and try to see if that's a washed up, watered down Henry. That was probably one of the better versions, more fresh body, healed up. And I knew that my biggest attacks were going to be my kicks. So my shins were so swollen that you could put fingerprints just by squeezing my shins. So I was like, dude, I can't train for pretty much a month. So that 3.5 month turnaround turns into 2 months, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, and then it's like,
and then the dieting,
and I think people don't understand like the mental strain on fighting. Like, can I get ready for a fight? Absolutely, but the mental strain just to get myself ready again, it's like I don't want to do it. Like, especially a hard fight with Henry, then you got to turn around, do all that. You have all these injuries. You have, what is that called when you have a lot of water retention in your legs and you squeeze? I think it's called. We're just talking about that because my father-in-law just went through heart surgery and he had an epedema. Epedema is where your body retains all that fluid. So, I mean, I understand because I'm an athlete and I've been in your shoes before when it's like, dude, I just got done training. I'm so hurting. I don't want to do another fight. And then you end up doing it and doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, but it happened, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I take responsibility. Like, I signed the contract, right? Yeah. But if people who don't understand fighting, if you do understand fighting, you would understand that wasn't the best version of myself from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, and a tactical standpoint. And I spoke to Dean Thomas. Him and I were talking. He's like, dude, if you don't feel ready, he's like, don't fight. Yeah. I was like, I know. I feel like I'm being put in a position and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I said no, but this is what they're telling me, and X, Y, and Z. I won't be able to fight till next year. They said like March or April. Something crazy. Where it's like, I asked you for 1 extra month so I could just decompress. All I want is a month to decompress. That's it. Yeah. Like, give me some time to heal and then let me enjoy my month while I heal. So it's not like I'm healing and I'm like, I got to figure out what to do so I can stay in some type of shape while this guy is training, getting ready to beat this broken version of me. So there's a lot of things. And I told him at the end, I was like, I'm going to try to turn the switch on. And I thought I did, but I clearly didn't.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Like, I look at it like the better man that got that night won.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I give Sean his flowers. I've always said the kid was very talented. I always thought he was very skilled. Since he got signed on the Contenders, I was like, this kid moves fucking well.
Yeah.
And his vision and to strike from both stances, like, I know guys who could do that in the room, and I know guys who can't. I know the difficulty it takes and the type of athletic ability you need. And I know he played basketball, which I did too. And just to have that lateral footwork and to be able to stop on a dime and pivot. And that's one of the things I always complimented him about, saying he's just a very hard guy to track down. And a guy who moves like that is very hard to take down.
Yep.
You know? I was being told, you're just going to take him down and kill him. And
I was one of those people where I was like, if Aljo get his hands around him, that's what I was saying, if you get your hands around him, but that's the biggest thing. If getting cross at this to get to him, and the lateral movement, it's one of his greatest strengths, I believe.
100%. Yeah, it is what it is. But now I'm at 45 and things just feel better.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, like I feel like even if they wanted me to fight earlier for the Mozart fight, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that again. I was like, even though I'm cutting less weight, I just fought and I'm good. And I had jacked up my finger pretty bad. I hurt my finger probably 3 or 4 weeks before the Calvin fight, where I couldn't really even punch with my right hand because the knuckle, and they said it was like a bad bone bruise and some ligament sprains. And for that, to just clench my fist, I was like, bro, this kills. We padded it up in the back room. Don House did a great job. I had to like whisper to him in the corner. I was like, yo, man, my fucking hand, my finger's fucked up, bro. Like, I'm scared I might break my hand today. I was like, can you pad it up? And then he padded it up, dude. I didn't feel anything. But I do think, not to bring up fighter pay, but I think there's some type of, I'm trying to make sure I use the correct words here.
Just say it, dog.
Because we aren't paid the way an NBA or NFL team, MLB, soccer, MLS, because they're paid so significantly more. They don't have to worry about doing this stuff to build their brand per se.
1,000%.
Where for us, we need to engage to get people to understand, because we only get seen on TV for that 15 minutes and then we're gone to the abyss for maybe a couple of months.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's not the easiest thing to build a fan base and a following unless you're doing the active stuff outside of the cage.
1,000%.
And it's you got to be good in the ring. You got to be good on the mic. There's so much things you got to be good at in order to gain traction with the fans out here. And it's hard work. It's not the easiest. No. But I'm not complaining about it, but it's not the easiest. This is why the other sports, they don't really have to worry about any of that other stuff.
And that's why we're so accessible. Do you think LeBron James is going to do a fucking meet and greet before he plays basketball?
At International Fight Week?
No, he's not. Like, and you're 1,000%. Like, that's one thing that I think makes our sport, it's a bad thing and it's also a good thing. We're accessible to the fans so they get to know us and they get to see us and interact with us, right? But at the same time, we don't make as much money as LeBron James or even fucking golfers or whatever you may say, because if you sign a contract, you make $80 million. Like, let's say you sign a contract with the UFC and goes, hey, Aljo, you're going to fight 10 times. You're going to get $40 million up front, guaranteed. And you owe us, those 10 fights. And every single fight you break it down, you get the rest of their cash, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to feel obligated to do. It's the truth.
No, I agree with you.
It's 1,000%. You get to do things you want to do. Like, you know what? Like, hey, I'm going to do a backpack drive. And when I do that, I'm going to have everybody come out there. I'll sign some autographs, whatever. It's not going to be, because I've been in your shoes. I'm still am in your shoes. If somebody calls, hey, Aljo, we got an opportunity for you to come out and sign some autographs for $5,000 cash. You're like, Becca, pack your fucking bags. We're going. And grab a case of Funk Harbor too. Like, we're just looking for every opportunity to make money and interact with our fan base. Now, if you guys enjoyed that clip and you want to check out the whole video, click right here. And if you guys want to see other clips from this channel, click right here. Enjoy.